These wildfires in Canada are looking awfully suspicious, if you ask me. I want to talk about that tonight. A real honest conversation with these Canadian wildfires, right? Let's start off by acknowledging. All right, and we're not doing a land acknowledgement. That's not the channel for you. Climate change is real. The climate is changing. Things are getting hotter, of course. But this has always happened. It wasn't that long ago that this entire valley, the entire valley in Metro Vancouver that I am residing in right now, was covered by a 1 mile thick ice sheet during the previous ice age. Right? The Earth's temperature has changed forever. Right? It was just like it is right now. It got really cold during the ice age, and then it warmed up. It goes back and forth. It ebbs and flows. It's not about can we stop the climate change. It's a matter of what can we do to adapt and live. Simple as that. And has anybody noticed? I think it started in about roughly 2021, but these crazy, out of control wildfires in large abundance, starting for some reason. And they've gotten fewer and fewer the past couple of years. I've noticed this. But they've gotten a lot more intense. Every fire takes more homes, displaces more people, burns more cities. Has anybody noticed this as well? I also find, let's use the Waterton Lakes National Park as well as the Jasper National Park example. So Waterton Lakes in 2017, they had a pine beetle infestation in the previous decade. And in the House of Commons, they talked about, there's clips of it, we need to do some maintenance in the forest. It is like an ash box waiting to light on fire. There is so much fuel for a fire, we don't clear it. They didn't do anything about it. I thought we were supposed to be this inclusive, pro-environment country, but they didn't do anything about it. And then when a lightning strike hit, boom, whole thing lit on fire, and God bless the firefighters that saved the town of Waterton Lakes, because it was coming on the edge of town, and they secured the perimeter and saved it from that wildfire. And you still see the damage to this day, which is devastating. And then Jasper National Park, one of my favorite places, probably my favorite national park in the country, or if not up there for sure, way better than Banff. Same thing, massive pine beetle infestation. We need to secure the forest. We need to do some maintenance. We need to make sure that these trees that are going through the crazy harsh dry winter and then crazy humid hot summer drying out, becoming matchbox starter for the fires, are cleared. Never did anything about it. And then boom, a massive forest fire in 2024. Move everybody out, burned 1/3 of the town. I do find the buildings that were burned and ones that were saved, I find very odd, the placement, if you've been to Jasper since the fires. And the fact that they didn't want to do any forest maintenance at all. They blocked the firefighters that had contracts to come and save the town if something like this happened. So people coming from Edmonton, Hinton, coming west and heading east, they blocked them all from entering the town. They would not let them in. I find that incredibly interesting, fascinating, if you will. And a good friend of mine who's also a firefighter, same thing. They wouldn't travel. They would not allow us to service the fires. Why is that? There's a massive wildfire. Don't you want to save the town? You would think. Every single time one of these things happens, it's climate change. We need to do something to stop the sun from getting hot. Ooh, I have an idea. We'll start a carbon tax. We will tax you more on gas, which fuels the entire world, despite them telling you that green is the future. No, oil runs the world, folks, as you're seeing now with the Strait of Hormuz closure over the Middle East, which we'll park that aside. That's not the topic of today's video. Oil runs the world. So we're going to tax you more, put a price on carbon, so we can save the trees and stop the sun from getting hotter. Have you ever asked the question, does this actually serve the country? If you've ever driven the Trans-Canada Highway, I'm not even talking the whole thing, I'm talking, let's just go from Calgary to Vancouver, here in Vancouver. When you drive that stretch between Field, BC and Revelstoke, there are so many freaking trees. The fact that they say we need to save the trees, we are CO2 positive in this country. We don't have enough CO2 for all the trees to capture. Right? The trees need more. But somehow we need to reduce it. And none of this has worked. None of this has worked at all. But if you also consider the fact that 80% of the country's surface area is uninhabited. Only 10 to 15% of the country's surface is actually inhabited by the major cities and the populations. So all these trees that we don't even know about are out there servicing this as well. So this idea that we have too much carbon is absolute nonsense. Absolute farce. But most people are too poor to be able to go and drive the Trans-Canada and see this for themselves. And really see how many trees are out there that are capturing this carbon that supposedly don't exist because we cut them all down. And don't get me wrong, I love nature. I want to be very clear. I love nature. I don't want to see any of it burn. Everybody loves nature. If you don't love nature, you're an absolute animal. But this is not affecting nature. Now, my last component of this argument is, as the fires have gotten fewer and fewer, but more intense, I want to turn my attention to Dubai, because does anybody remember about a year and a half ago, Dubai had mass flooding. Now, for those that don't know, Dubai is in the middle of a desert. You don't have mass flooding in the middle of a desert. The reason being is that they came out and admitted, the meteorologists and the scientists behind this, they have the ability to control the weather in Dubai. Right? They've been controlling the weather so that it's habitable. Otherwise, you can't build an entire empire in the middle of a desert with no resources, no water, no nothing. So controlling the weather has been one element that they've used to make it habitable. And they went a little bit too far, mass flooding, too much rain, didn't know how to control it, they got it back under control. If they're controlling the weather in Dubai to make it habitable and serving the citizens, I don't think it's out of the question to propose the idea that the Canadian government is also controlling the weather to facilitate hotter climates, facilitate more forest fires, put it on the news, which is just slop and a propaganda arm of the said government, and make you feel bad into taxing you more. And then using that money to paint rainbow sidewalks and send it off to money in the Ukraine, which clearly is just a giant money laundering operation at this point in time. I don't think that's out of the question, right? And then you see some of the people that are arsoning these fires, right? Like the Bald Range, the Bald Range outside of Summerland, Peachland, and Penticton. The fire that just displaced everybody there. That one was started by somebody committing arson. You go look at what they look like. They don't look like somebody like me. They look like a deranged liberal lunatic. And again, politics is for poor people. Left, right, doesn't matter. But these people are so demented. They're deranged. For some reason, trying to get on the news and start fires. But I asked the question, is the government setting these people up? Right, the Palisade fires in California, I would argue that is a giant government operation to clear out the land because, oh no, fire, what are we supposed to do about it? Like, let's use Jasper as an example to come back to that. Fire happens, a third of the town burns down. It's in a national park. The national park has code. Buildings have to meet a certain criteria, a certain specification. Everybody's wildfire insurance is getting canceled shortly before the fires. Okay, that's awfully interesting. And then on top of that, the people's homes that did burn down but did have insurance, well, you have to build a certain spec and certain code. And insurance won't cover if you don't build it to that. Well, you can't afford to build it to that. So I guess you're going to have to dish the land, which is leased. You don't own any land in the national park. Oops, we're the government. We have all this land that we own and lease out to everybody. Nobody wanted to rebuild their homes. I guess a data center can go there. Oops. It's almost like they're trying to destroy everything we love and make us care less about the country, which they are, obviously. But the wildfires are fascinating. As they grow in intensity and shrink in quantity, I think that it is some type of government operation. I really do. I don't find it natural. I find it very fascinating, very suspicious as well, I might add. You let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? Am I off my rocker or am I out to lunch? Also become a channel member. It's 99 cents. Support the content creation like this and get access to all my videos scheduled, ready to go live in advance. But please, comment section, people. What did I hit in the head? What did I miss? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Is there anything else that you would add or rebuttal? Comment section. Please use it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.